You ever see your entire life get flipped upside down in your own driveway? All because some HOA president decides she's the law. Picture this. My old 85 Monte Carlo, just sitting out front. Nothing fancy, just a classic I'd spent months bringing back from the dead, now with a giant yellow police sticker across the windshield and a boot clamp to the wheel. And there's Karen Blackwood, standing tall like she just solved a murder case, pointing at my car and hollering to the cops. That's my son's car. He stole it. Yeah, that happened. The smell of that V8, still warm, mixed with the afternoon heat, the metallic ticking of the engine cooling down, and sunlight bouncing off the chrome so bright I had to squint. Everything felt off. The whole neighborhood went quiet. No lawnmowers, no kids playing ball, just the distant hum of traffic, Mrs. Hamilton's TV blaring some talk show through her open window, and me standing there, trying to figure out how in the world my project car became the neighborhood's crime of the century. Let me ask you, what would you do if your HOA tried to snatch your legally owned car, just to hand it over to their own kid? I mean, drop a comment. Let me know if you've ever had to wrestle with HOA politics like this, because buckle up, this story's about to get wild. So how we end up here? Well, it starts with the car itself. The Monte Carlo had been abandoned out front for 8 months before I laid claim to it. California law is pretty clear. Leave a car sitting on community property for more than 72 hours without up-to-date registration, and anyone can file an abandoned vehicle claim. I documented everything, took pictures of expired plates, flat tires, the whole 9 yards. DMV traced the old owner, Frank Davis, but the guy had moved to Arizona. After the certified letter came back, I filed a claim, paid the fees, and waited. Let me tell you, waiting for that 60-day period to end felt like forever. But when that clean title finally showed up with my name on it, man, the satisfaction. I did everything by the book, just like my old man taught me. He always said, do it right, and nobody can touch you. But see, that's where Karen rolls in, brand new HOA president, fresh from a divorce, all about community standards. She knocked on my door the week after my title came, dressed sharp, makeup perfect, hitting me with, we need to talk about your vehicle situation. The way she said vehicle, you'd think I parked a tank on the lawn. I explained, look, it's registered, insured, in my own garage, not breaking any rules. She just gets colder, then blurts out, that's a gang car. My neighbors are scared. You need to get rid of it. Yeah, let that one hang in the air. I handed her a highlighted copy of the CC and RS. Nothing about classic cars, lowriders, nothing. Only rules about leaks, wrecks, stuff like that. She didn't care. I'm the HOA president. I know what's best for this community. That's when I knew. This wasn't about the car at all. It was about control. And that's when the drama went nuclear. Next day, there's a violation notice on my door, $200 a day if I don't move the car. Karen starts snapping photos of everyone's cars, but only goes after mine. Funny thing, my neighbor Craig, with his monster truck and Confederate flag stickers, never gets a letter. College kids throwing parties every weekend, no problem. But my old Chevy, sitting quiet in my own space? That's a crisis. So I did what you have to do. I fought back with paperwork, cited state law, attached every document I had, sent it all to the board and the management company. Board Secretary Janet Wong emails back, basically saying, thank God someone's standing up to Karen. But Karen, she's just getting started. She launches this whole social media crusade, posting pictures of my car, stirring up concerns about crime and property values. Careful never to mention race, but everyone knew what was up. Mrs. Hamilton, gotta love her, was the first to call it out online. This is racial profiling. Lowriders are part of American culture. The community split right down the middle, some folks nodding along with Karen, others furious. I'm not gonna lie, there were nights I lay awake, half expecting another bogus violation notice, half expecting something worse. Things hit a twist when Karen started a community safety meeting, left me off the invite, of course. She rolled out this whole slideshow about crime rates and problem vehicles, cherry-picking stats from other cities, painting my Monte Carlo as some kind of getaway car for criminals. When Mrs. Hamilton stood up and asked, where's Deshaun? Why's he not here to defend himself? The whole room went dead silent. Karen mumbled something about protecting the community, but you could feel the tension. A petition went around, but half the folks refused to sign. The neighborhood was splitting into camps, and the board started worrying about lawsuits. Behind the scenes, I was busy building my own case. Cameras up in my garage, every email and violation notice saved, every one of Karen's social posts screenshotted. I checked into Karen's history. Turns out, almost every complaint she'd filed in the past year was against a family of color, and 3 of them had moved away. Her own son, Ethan, never had a license, never registered a car, never even filed a theft report. But Karen still called the police, claimed I stole her boy's dream ride. All this came to a head when she tried to cut the police will lock off my car. Caught red-handed on camera. Called the cops that morning, Officer Reynolds, same guy who'd checked my paperwork the first day, watched the footage and shook his head. This just went from an HOA beef to a felony. Karen tried to play the victim, but the evidence was just overwhelming. The community hearing felt like something out of a movie. Crowded room, board members sweating, neighbors tense. I laid out every bit of evidence. DMV records, security footage, audio of Karen admitting she just wanted the car for her son because he saw it first. Karen's defense? It's about community standards. Ethan had an emotional attachment. Judge and jury, nobody was buying it. Even Craig stood up, admitted his truck was louder, more disruptive, and never got so much as a warning. By the end, the board voted her out as president. The DA filed charges, and the community finally saw just how much damage one person on a power trip can cause. Karen pled guilty, lost her real estate license, paid thousands in fines and legal fees, and had to do community service at an immigrant legal aid center. The HOA had to cough up a settlement, and the new president, Janet Wong, sent me a formal apology and promised real changes. No more bogus violations for people just trying to live their lives. But the biggest twist? Karen's son Ethan came to me after all the dust settled, apologized for his mom's mess, and asked if I'd teach him how to work on cars. Turns out, he was just a kid caught in the middle. I took him on part-time. He's got a knack for it. His grandma's grateful, the neighborhood's healing, and now the car that nearly tore us apart brings us together every Sunday for garage lessons and coffee. Finished that Monte Carlo restoration last spring. Deep metallic paint, new leather interior, hydraulics tuned to perfection. First community car show, Mrs. Hamilton brought out her late husband's Camaro. Craig showed up with his truck minus the flag, and even the kids from Building C pitched in. We started a Know Your Rights workshop for anyone fighting HOA nonsense. And, wouldn't you know, property values actually went up. Now, every weekend, Ethan and I are out there working, neighbors drop by. Nobody's worried about community standards anymore. Just folks living side by side, learning to mind their own business, and maybe appreciating a little classic car culture along the way. So, let me ask you, have you ever faced someone abusing their authority, trying to take what's rightfully yours just because they think they can? Drop your story below. Justice only works if we're willing to stand up for it, even when it's tough, even when you're outnumbered. That's what this old Monte Carlo taught me. And if you ever need proof that one person's persistence can make a difference, just look for the guy with the shiny Chevy, washing it in the sun, surrounded by neighbors who finally remember what community is supposed to feel like.